Wolf, here's something that probably keeps the Republican leadership awake nights and in cold sweats. A new Gallup poll shows 89% of the party's rank-and-file members are white. That means only 11% of Republicans are Hispanic, African-American, Asian, or members of other races. The numbers are staggering and hardly in keeping with the rapidly changing face of the demographic in this country. And that's not all. By more than 2 to 1, whites who call themselves Republicans claim a conservative ideology, and about half of them say they are strongly religious. Compare that now to the Democrats, whose party is 64% white and 36% non-white. By a ratio of more than 4 to 1, white Democrats call themselves moderates or liberals, and only 20% of them say they are highly religious. Independents fall somewhere in between the two camps, with 27% of them being non-white. These numbers pretty much say it all about the Republicans' troubles and leave little question why Democrats are in control of the White House and both houses of Congress. The big question is, will the support of white conservative religious Americans be enough of a base for Republicans to start winning elections again? The answer is no. The alternative, of course, is for Republicans to try to find a way to broaden their appeal among non-whites and whites who are more moderate in their thinking. Here's a hint. The way to accomplish that is probably not with the likes of Dick Cheney, Rush Limbaugh, and Newt Gingrich slinging around negative, hateful, racist rhetoric. Here's the question. Why does the Republican Party have such a very narrow appeal these days? Go to CNN.com/Cafferty File, post a comment on my blog. 89% of them are white. That's an astounding number.
Yes, it is, Jack. Thanks very much. I know the Republicans would like to change that and broaden the base, if you will, but it's not going to be easy. They got a lot of work to do.
Yes, they do.
Thank you.
Wolf, the question this hour is, why does the Republican Party have such a narrow appeal? One of the latest polls shows that 89% of Republicans in this country are white, which is hardly a representation of the demographic of the nation. Nancy in Nebraska writes, let's start with the fact that the only demographic group they seem interested in are rich white guys. In today's economy, that's a rapidly declining base. Throw in immigrant bashing, gay bashing, anti-evolution tirades, and a lack of concern for the environment. And finally, the so-called macho men have to continually apologize to Rush Limbaugh for daring to offend him, and you've got the makings of a brand that nobody wants to buy. Larry in Santa Monica, California, on the long Republican watch that just ended, we've witnessed the simultaneous collapse of both our economy and our stature as a leading nation in the world community. People need a little time to forget, and the current spokespeople seem intent on not letting anyone forget. There's nothing wrong with historical revisionism as a tactic. It's the timing that seems a little goofy to me. Howard in Illinois writes, the Republican Party's doctrine is very hoarse as it relates to the little person in this country. It's also the party of intolerance and racism hidden behind and within the veneer of religion. Jack, can you tell me one thing the Republicans have done for the little guy or any minority group over the last 50 years? I can't think of anything. Robert in Atlanta writes, it's really very simple, Jack. They had a lack of vision and incompetence. Remember Sarah Palin? 8 years of chaos and bias against the poor. The Republicans have earned every bit of our contempt. And Braden writes from Brookings, South Dakota, you mean this is not on purpose? The way they pride themselves on kicking moderates out of their party, I thought this was their intention. If you didn't see your email here, you can go to my blog, CNN.com/Cafferty File. Check it out. You might find yours there. Wolf?
A lot of people do precisely that, Jack. Thanks.